I don't know how I'm supposed to do a podcast right now, Jamsters. I really don't. You can probably see my eyes; they're a little glazed over from tears. I'm happy. We all should be happy. The Phoenix Suns defeated the Los Angeles Clippers by a final score of 130 to 102, 103. I don't even know what it was. 103. 27-point victory in Game 6 of the Western Conference Finals. Your Phoenix Suns are headed back to the NBA Finals. Matthew, as I bring Matthew here, I got to say, it looks like we both brought the same juju tonight. We both were wearing our 93 gear.
Yeah, last time they made it. I mean, Mr. Checkmark, first of all, congratulations to you. I honestly, my friend told me, Chris Paul coming to this. I don't even want to bring the other guys on.
What are you looking at up there?
I'm watching the thing. I bring them in. I hate talking when they're off camera. They deserve to be in here. So,
well, let's bring in Dave King, a man who has been covering Brightside since what, 2010?
Woo! Yeah, I'm fixing your recap right now.
Oh, sorry about that. It's already submitted.
Sentences. Jesus. All right.
Espo, how you feeling?
I didn't get emotional until watching that trophy ceremony, and I didn't think I'd do this until they won a title, but there's just something about this that reminds me so much of being that 9-year-old kid and watching that happen back in '93, and just remembering what it's like to just have that moment of joy that, we've all been through a lot as fans, having covered this team or having worked there or whatever the case may be. And we've all seen all sorts of things.
Espo, this is a fun podcast. Come on.
This is
Jesus.
Dude, this is fun to
man.
Don't be
It's
trying
sentimental.
to pull us down.
It's fun to
I'm
feel,
not trying
Dave.
to pull anybody down.
I liked
Dave.
it. I liked it.
On Espo's
bring in-
parade,
let's bring in
Dave.
feeling
Paul.
something.
I will not stand for that today. This is a celebratory way, and he can celebrate any damn way he wants. And if he wants
Thank
to
you.
reflect on the shitstorm that this state has been through basically in its entire existence with sports teams outside of one 2001 D-backs team, then let him. Because guys, we all knew it was different. It felt different. Everything seemed to be falling in line, and I don't know what's happening in the finals, and I don't care right now. All I know is we all so motherfucking deserve this, and I'm so happy.
Yeah,
Let's go.
Dude, and honestly, what I was saying before, it just when Chris Paul came here, my friend told me he's going to be your favorite player of all time on the Suns when he came from OKC. And I'm like, all right, we'll see. He is. He's the best point guard in the Suns history. He's my favorite player right there with Book. So I can't believe he did this. 41 points.
41 points. To
It's
top
insane.
himself after 37 points in the Denver Game 4 closeout game. He's like, yo, I'll one-up that. To the point where Patrick Beverley broke character. I mean, there's so much we have to talk about. But welcome, everybody, to the Suns Jam Session and the Suns Solar Panel Podcast.
Home of the NBA Finals.
Yes! Home. We got to keep doing these, baby. We got to keep doing these. The season isn't over. Suns in 6, by the way, called it at the beginning of the series. But this is a reminder to everybody who is watching along live on YouTube. Hit the thumbs up button. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the little bell notification. That notifies you whenever we go live, because you never know. You never know where we're going to go live. If you're listening on the Bright Side of the Sun Podcast Network, please subscribe, rate, review. If you are watching this on VCR and it's the future, you can look back on all these moments and go, you know what? This is the path that took us to an NBA championship. These emotions are raw. These emotions are real. I think that, it's going to be hard to go into work tomorrow because I'm going to be so goddamn happy.
Can we take a second
To chug with the fellas?
If they're watching it on a VHS, they're in the future.
Have you ever seen the Book of Eli?
Back to the future.
Okay, I just
Book of Eli status, okay? Like
All
where
right,
everything
cool.
just crumbles and that's all that's left.
Espo, tonight, I think you just let stupid shit go. Just
Yes.
let it go. Just let
We
it flow.
all get Lysiasms tonight, baby.
I will.
There we go.
Hey, I'm
Let's
going
chug with the
old
fellas,
school.
boys.
I'm going
What's
chugging
everybody
the good
drinking?
stuff.
Same stuff.
Big
Sunbrew.
blue van.
No Secchi's for me.
Hey.
Big Blue Man. That's a great drink. All right.
Let's
Well,
go.
cheers,
I gotta pour
fellas.
mine.
Cheers.
Chug.
I'm still pouring. Sorry, guys.
Woo!
Woo!
Suns win,
The
baby.
Suns are in the finals.
The Suns are in the NBA Finals.
Now I'm going to do the Espo thing. Man, I've been writing on this effing team every day for 11
Dave,
years.
Dave.
Yes,
And they're
get it, Dave.
what?
Get it.
Am I yelling too much?
No, you're
No.
good, buddy.
Yo,
You're good.
I love,
Wait,
dude. You're getting me
let Darth
going.
do let's do the
Yeah,
intro, and then you can go on your tirade.
See,
Okay.
I like the way
Oh.
Saul thinks.
We have to have
Dave,
some order. A little
Coming
bit
up
of order.
next after the intro, Dave goes off and drops F-bombs.
Too late now.
28 years ago are headed to the NBA Finals after defeating the Los Angeles Clippers by a score of 130 to 103 in pretty chippy fashion. I really felt that this was a game that a lot of calls didn't necessarily go the Suns' way, and despite that, you could see the determination, the will to win. Chris Paul leading this team in the second half. It was just an unbelievable experience to get through this team. This was the NBA Finals, in my opinion. I don't know. I'm getting ahead of myself, but the toughness that the Clippers attempted to display, and I say attempted because Patrick Beverley's, I'm going to just pass it to Dave.
Oh, I didn't.
Dude.
Tell us how you're
Beverley
feeling,
can go
buddy.
Suck my anyway. Look, I have been,
Suck my whiskey.
I
Whoa.
suck my whiskey. That's right. Look, man, Espo talked about it a little bit earlier, and I got my own story to tell, and I'm just not going to be so depressing about it. That's all. I've been covering this team every day for 11 years. I was smart enough to start covering them immediately after Amari left in free agency. So I have missed 10 straight years of playoffs. I used to have to put in my bio on Twitter. Nobody told me, but I chose to put in my bio on Twitter. No, it's not my fault. The Suns have been out of the playoffs for a decade. They finally get back in the playoffs and all the way to the NBA Finals, and I can't be happier. And it makes it all worth it. Man, I still remember writing a 3-line recap after the Suns played so bad, tanked so hard in a game. I put as much effort into the recap as they put into the game.
I think I
And
remember
now, still
reading that
to this
one.
day, my favorite recap of my life.
I think I remember reading that one. I was like,
Your
wow.
best writing ever, Dave. Short, sweet, and to the damn point.
So, I mean, looking at this game, I guess, typically here we talk about the game a little bit. I don't know how much we'll actually talk about it outside of, it was an interesting affair to start. The Suns came out and the adjustments were made. Matthew and I, we did the Spotify Green Room podcast yesterday where we just kind of hung out and tried that conduit of communication out. And one of the things we talked about was how vital the adjustments were going to need to be for the Suns and how they needed to come out aggressive. They needed to show that they had the ability to impose their will after we felt in a game 5 they couldn't really do that. The Clippers had their way. They were running the zone. They had the 5-out offense, and it really seemed to take the wind out of the sails of the Suns in the first quarter. The opposite was true tonight. You saw the Suns come out with Chris Paul being aggressive, them feeding DA 10 points in the first quarter. Jay Crowder hitting threes. Matthew, tell me we haven't been talking about Jay Crowder and how he needs to step up in the series. What you see from him tonight that assisted in us getting this dub?
What else we talked about last pod was Cameron Johnson and him being out.
Yeah.
That means Jay Crowder, I mean, even the 600-word piece I released on Brightside, that was the bad luck, but it's not enough to where...
You know what? That's when he started feeling bad. The word
He
was
read
he
it.
started feeling bad
It came
this
out
morning.
at 6 a.m. too.
And we published the story at 6 a.m. And that's when he literally started
He's
throwing
like,
up.
Missy's writing about me, man. Now I got to step up. I'm sick to my stomach. But Jay Crowder had to come through, and it wasn't like Cameron Johnson. If he's out, it's life or death. It shouldn't be something that costs the Suns a win, but it was a blow. And these guys, they stepped up. And this Clippers team, even though they're without their starting Kawhi, they're still scary as hell, man. They were knocking down threes again. Morris was just hitting threes. They're just a scary team anytime any of these guys on the floor has the ball. So give credit to the Suns, man, because this, whatever they say, when we win the championship, they went through some tough fucking teams in the West. So.
Agreed.
They really did, man. I tell you what, though, I could tell, and I'm sure you guys could too. I could tell from the first 2 minutes the energy the Suns were actually the first 2 plays, the energy the Suns were playing with. It didn't matter that Patrick Beverley suddenly figured out how to be an offensive player for the first time in his career.
Yeah, what was that?
I don't know, man, but he was getting it all right in the first like few minutes, and then everything went downhill for him, and it just took the refs until the fourth quarter to realize it. But man, the Suns had the right energy from the tip in this game. They had the energy they needed. In fact, I feel like they only know how to close it out at home, because on Monday, I remember saying that I felt like they thought they were having that was the parade on Monday. And all of a sudden the Clippers was like, not on our watch. What are you talking about, parade? Just because your fans are here? No. And so the Suns needed the adversity. They needed the last 2 days of the rest of the world saying, you know what, the Clippers have a pretty good chance. You know what, if we don't win this, oh my gosh, what happened to Chris Paul? Oh my gosh, what happened to Devin Booker? Oh my gosh, nobody can. The Suns, are they frauds? Are they worth it? Should they even be here? And then they come out tonight and remind us that this is the Phoenix fucking Suns.
I think
it
was
NBA Finals.
I think that was more ESPN than anybody else.
My God, ESPN.
Yeah.
I mean, when I
turned on ESPN,
I turned on. Yeah, it's on ABC. I turned on ESPN an hour before the game started, and it was nonstop Clippers talk the entire hour. And then at halftime, they come back, and all they want to do is talk about Pat Bev. And I'm like, dude, do we realize who the team that's leading this series is? And that
it
the
wasn't
Clippers,
even the studio guys. It was the
ridiculous.
announcers. It was Breen and Van Gundy.
Well,
and
no,
Mark
it was the
Jackson.
studio guys. It was the studio guys.
It was
the entire
everybody.
thing.
Sure,
Was just
but those
all
guys
about them.
also all game long.
Yeah, all game long about the Clippers. You know what? Who cares about the Clippers anymore? I don't give a crap. I don't care. They're done. Bye-bye. Go enjoy freaking Cabo. Pandemic P, because he didn't show up tonight like everybody thought he was going to after game 5. No, you got to do it 7 games in a series, and he never does. He never does.
Look, respect isn't given. Respect is earned. The Suns earned it tonight. They came out and played their game. Monty Williams countered every move that Ty Lue wound up making over the last few games, countered it masterfully, realized his own mistakes in playing Abdel Nader, and decided it was a time to give Torrey Craig those minutes that Abdel was getting, and that Cam Johnson wasn't going to be able to play. They did everything they needed to. They withstood the run from the Clippers in the third quarter. Chris Paul said, to hell with the ghosts of the past. Devin Booker came out and pretty much, I'm 100% sure, got his nose broken again, and still went out there and took care of business. I don't know if you saw his outfit before the game. He was in an all brown short sleeve shirt, all brown pants. He came dressed as a UPS man, and he delivered the damn win. The Suns are in the NBA Finals for the first time in 28 freaking years, because this team is just that, a team. They came through in every way and proved why they had the second best record in the NBA. They don't need ESPN's respect. They don't need TNT's respect. They don't need the Clippers' respect. They've got their own respect in that room of each other, and that's enough to carry them to another 4 wins. They've got the Western Conference title. Now they're going for the NBA title.
Does anybody want to tell Espo we're his friends?
Woo! I gotta say,
I feel like I can go
Why are
play
you
now.
yelling at me?
Like,
I'm not the one on the other
I'm gonna go to the
side.
gym tonight.
Also,
now, man.
I thought you were going to say
I am
Devin Booker showed up
up.
dressed as a turd because he was going to shit all over the Clippers.
No, see, I have more class than that, so I went classy with it.
Espo started the show very somber.
Yeah, he
Very-
did.
very
It was just
reflective.
ramped up.
Look,
Zero
man,
to
Espo,
100.
I gave you a lot of crap, but I love
Dude,
your
nailed
passion.
it.
I love
Nailed
your
that.
passion. You nailed it. You really did. I'm sorry. I was in the mood to cheer. That wasn't the right time for me to yell at you. You
Hey.
kicked ass.
You guys
Hey,
are the cutest.
You bring it. You can be like the ESPN people. I'm gonna bring the truth when it needs to be brought.
I Patrick Beverley'd your ass when you tried to do
Yeah,
that.
you did.
Yeah, and nobody
Yeah,
threw you
absolutely.
out.
Push you right in the
Just like
back.
a ref.
Espo, you need to start waking me up in the morning, man, with that kind of talk.
Hey, look, man. I have been hard on this team. I've been hard on every aspect of this franchise because I freaking love it. It's the same way you treat a younger brother or somebody that you love when you see them going through a tough time or making bad decisions. You get frustrated, right? Because you love them so damn much, and that's what the truth of the matter is. When you become a fan at such a young age, you go through heartbreak, you go through all this, and then you get to experience this again. I mean, 28 years without winning the West, 10 years without making the finals. There's something that it's a great moment that we all should be enjoying. Yes, the focus is on 4 more wins,
Of course.
but this is another great moment that we won't forget. That kids that were like us when we were growing up watching this team now have that moment that they'll look back on, and they'll look at CP3 and Devin Booker the way we looked at Barkley and KJ, or that people looked at Westfall and Alvin Adams. Like, this team has made new memories for a new generation, and that excites me the most of anything because they lost a decade of fans without this great play. They're
but
back.
I would almost disagree that they lost a decade of fans, and the reason why is I think that they built a more passionate decade of fans because you knew who the diehards were, the people that were there, because the Suns have always been a good franchise, right? They're one of the most successful franchises to never win an NBA Finals. You know what I mean? If not the most successful, I think they are the most successful to never win an NBA championship. So
Correct.
And then the Devin Booker years, right? Like the last
that.
5 years of fandom for the Phoenix Suns franchise was built all around Devin Booker. And that fan base is like its own fan base in itself. And a lot of you are here in the chat. I love you all. The 7 seconds or less
In here next to you in the panel. Too.
Yeah, the 7 seconds or less Suns. It's like all these different genres are merging together at this time, and that's why it's so crazy at the arena. That's why everybody's so damn excited. It's because it's rekindled that imagination that you used to have. Remember when they got to the Western Conference? Remember how they got to the Western Conference Finals back in the day, or they get to the playoffs and you thought, okay, yeah, we can get to the Western Conference Finals, or we can get to the NBA Finals. I don't know how many people said that before the year. I think the playoffs was just to make it to the playoffs.
I think just Justin.
And now we're in the driver's seat in the NBA Finals. This is nuts, and everybody needs to enjoy it. And I just want to say one more thing before I pass it off. I think every single fan out there deserves to be emotional about this. I think they all deserve this. We have been kicked in the balls so many times as Suns fans, as Cardinals fans, as whatever, that when you finally get to taste some success, you just got to relish it and enjoy it. No negativity. Just enjoy the moment. Let the trolls troll and go somewhere else. But this is our moment tonight.
Enjoy it, Suns fans. You know, to all of our points so far, you appreciate it more, obviously, you know, because to Espo's point, I mean, I think Espo and I are pretty close in age. So we were right at that age where, you know, basketball was everything when you were 9, 10, 11 years old. And to have that team go to the finals, you know, and be perennial playoff contenders in Western Conference Finals and losing to Showtime, it was expected. And to go through the drought that we have makes you appreciate this so much more. Covering the team the way that we all do, and, you know, watch every game. You know, Matthew, you know, I tip my hat to you, my good friend who won't look at the camera because he's stuck on watching ESPN. You know, stop watching that
They're
shit.
celebrating in the locker room, dude. You know what?
I recorded it, so I'm going to watch it later. But I'm just saying, like Matthew, this has been fun, dude. This has been fun. We started doing this podcast when this team had 19 wins. We go, you know what? Now's the time to start because we love this team. We love talking about this team, and we moved apart. So we had an opportunity to, you know, share our thoughts with each other via the podcast. And now this team has just taken, you know, Flex from Jersey. Shout out to him if he's watching, listening, or, you know, he said it best where the Suns have skipped a step. You're supposed to kind of go through this natural progression. The Suns are just like, fuck all that. You know, we're going right for it.
We had a 10-year step. Fuck that.
Yeah, seriously, exactly. The first team ever to go on a 10-year playoff drought and then go to the NBA Finals. Your Phoenix Suns. I just want to give a shout out to Jammin on the Suns in the chat. He gave us 1993 in the super chat last time. I'll get to that. I'll get to that.
What, is that real?
Hold on, it is. Hold on. But Jammin on the Suns, shout out for in the super chat, donated 2021. He said last time you guys, I will stop talking. Last time you guys got 1993, but things changed. Finally back in the finals after CP3. I'm going with Craig as my jam star, which is a segment we'll get to. And I will agree with that when that time comes. I got to hit a couple other of these. Again, if you're watching in the super chat, we appreciate it. We have Austin gave us $100 in the super chat. Can I get a couple claps for Austin?
Wow.
Thank you for everything, boys. Listen, all year long out here in Texas. I'm flying in for game 1, baby. Suns in 4. Keep this money away from Espo.
It's much easier to split it 4 ways than 5.
Actually, as long as we keep it away from him, it's okay.
What about the other one?
And then we got a $205 donation from Viking STW. Nothing to say. I hope that wasn't a typo, Viking, and your wife's not going to get mad at you, or your husband. I'm not assuming. But
thank you for the fat fingers.
He actually said in another message, all that goes to Espo, so that can stay with me.
All
you guys
this private chat.
You forgot that does not go to Espo.
No, this one does. Yeah.
But I will say, and Mark just said in the chat. He said, "Job's not finished." This whole experience for all of us podcasters, and fanning the flames, those guys too. It's been really fun to follow this team and watch their development. And I think I can speak for all of us when just kind of all along this journey, this season in particular, we've been stuck saying just like, oh shit, like this team's really, really good. They play defense. They have a solid leader in Chris Paul. They have offense whenever they want it. We're watching the development of DeAndre Ayton. We have the shooters. We have everything that we should have. And I want to echo what Saul said. Fuck the trolls. Okay? You guys ever seen The Fugitive? You know that scene? Everyone's seen it but Matthew. You know that scene where Harrison Ford's standing there with Tommy Lee Jones and he's like, I didn't kill my wife. And Tommy Lee Jones is looking at him saying, I don't care. I don't care what any troll has to say out there. I've suffered as a Suns fan my entire life. Let me feel joy. And you know what? Tonight, I'm feeling joy.
Hey, you troll all you want. Much like Patrick Beverly, you don't matter right now. Right?
You're ejected.
You're not a ghost in that's we're going to talk about. You're insignificant at this point. You sat there and you whined and you cried and you shoved and it didn't freaking matter because you were a footnote in a triumphant victory for the Phoenix Suns. So enjoy your off season, and to the trolls, you can shove off just like Patrick Beverly.
All right. And to the chat, to the chat, Ian,
holy crap.
Ian, 1996,
incredible.
He gave us $19.96. He says, 1996 for the year our assassin book was born, baby. I've been having my heart broken since 7 seconds or less. 4 more games, boys. And we have the first AZ chip in 20 years. Let's fucking go. It was funny during this game. My wife asked me because I was getting emotional because we
is this
were
before
going to
you
the finals.
Cried?
This is me getting emotional leading up to that moment. She's just like, we never went to the finals with Steve Nash. No, we didn't, unfortunately. $105. Thank you from Coach Fallen Founder.
Coach coming through.
Day one.
Man, is this a telethon all of a sudden or what?
So proud of
for
everybody listening. Everybody listening on Spotify, just hit like the plus 30 seconds thing or whatever. So proud of this team. Also proud of the panel. Espo, Dave, Saul, and Tim. Shout out to Tim Tompkins. I hope you're watching.
He died for this. Thank you, Tim.
If Tim's out there, we could probably bring him in if he wants to. But he's been with you guys since day one and basically the beginning. Enjoyed having Suns Jam joining too. Thank you. We appreciate that. And then from Amon Giri, Suns fans to South Korea. Let's go. 49,000 won. I don't know what the exchange rate is on that, but I'll tell you this. I was stationed in South Korea for a year. Lovely country. Gets really cold. It was really cold when I was stationed there. So
I would like
again, thank you everybody in the chat for who's donating via the super chat. We appreciate it very, very much.
I would like to thank everybody for donating to my new liver after chugging this much. I have not done this in a very long time. And my liver thanks you all for the funds that may help replace what is now broken.
Got the liver of a 3-month-old, so yeah, it's not good for him.
It's not.
Wait, how much is that worth? 4,900. What?
Somebody go do the
It's
conversion.
it's like $5. It's $5 in US.
Look,
Hey man, that is awesome. I'll
Hell
take it.
yeah. Hell yeah.
I love everybody listening on the podcast has just sat there and listened to us read off dollar
Hey, look, at the
figures.
end of the show,
Like
instead
we
of our
deserve
Twitter
anything.
handles, we're gonna share our Venmo handles.
No, I prefaced it,
So
Espo,
they
by
can
saying, "Hey,
appreciate too.
go ahead and hit that fast forward button. You're gonna just hear us talking some, But thank you. I mean, that's what this experience has been like for all of us, and everyone who's in the
Wow.
chat. You have been a part of this experience with us. You show up with us every game and every Saturday morning with the Sun solar panel.
You guys have
and
been
you hear
here.
us. And again, we're not done, and we know it. But fucking A, dude, it feels great, doesn't it? Doesn't it feel nice to actually win something and not sit here and be like, well, they didn't execute their offense. I mean, because the other side of this coin is how less F-bombs, John. Less
Swears
F-bombs.
for
Woosah.
kids.
Let them out, dude.
Yeah, we're donating all
How
of this. All these
unbelievably
donations are going in the swear bucket.
yes,
Swears for
they're
kids.
making up for it.
Not.
But how horrible the refereeing and the broadcasting was tonight. It was god awful horrible
What?
across the
refereeing was
board.
not bad.
The refereeing.
I don't think the
The
refereeing
refereeing was
was
horrible.
I don't
Are
think
you
the
kidding
refereeing
me?
was that
I
bad.
stopped paying
So
attention.
bad.
That's
Oh my
So
god,
bad.
dude.
Hold on.
How is DeMarcus Cousins' elbow more egregious
Then
than
Patrick
Patrick
coming down to
Beverly's
8 and 10.
tomahawk?
Hold
You
on a
have to admit,
second.
Those two were pretty funny tonight, Paul and Cousins. I thought they
Hold
were
on.
hilarious.
Not egregious. The Clippers shot 32 free throws. The Phoenix Suns shot 11. Mikal Bridges had 2 fingers on a basketball that Paul George shot,
Yeah, that was
and
a
they didn't,
block.
and they called it a freaking foul.
21
the
to
refs were
11.
trying to
You
extend
can
the
yell at me all
series.
you want,
I
Espo.
still
I
feel it.
still disagree, but okay, cool.
Yeah, I didn't think it
Whatever.
was that bad.
It doesn't matter because they won and
They
they moved
won.
on.
Yeah.
That's
They
what I
won
love
by
so
30.
much about this team.
So-
You know what happened in the 7 seconds or less teams? We spent the next 10 years complaining about how the 7 seconds or less teams got screwed by the
Yeah.
physicality. They got screwed by the refs. They
But
had
here's
Bruce Bowen. All
here-
this.
but
No,
here-
no, no, no. Let me finish. So
Yes, sir.
the 7 seconds or less teams got screwed how many years in a row? Like 2004, 2005, 2006, 2007, 2010. By the physicality of the other teams and what I figured was the refs, but basically it's the physicality of the other teams. The more physical you are, the better calls you're going to get. That's the way it is. And now this team is the first one that has actually withstood all that crap and still took the big leads and still won the freaking game and walked off with the T-shirts.
And on the same point, Dave, all of those teams would also succumb to those bad calls and succumb to that physicality.
Yes.
Can I also say that we should say what it is now because we've seen this team overcome that kind of adversity. Those teams just weren't as mentally strong as this team is.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
Or had the ability to be
that's what the
physical.
fear. I think that's what the fear has been the last 48 hours after we lost in Game 5. Is like, oh crap, is this going to happen again or not? You know, I know a lot of people were confident, but there was also a lot of trepidation, a little nervousness. Like, I don't want to get to Game 7. You don't say you don't want to get to Game 7 if you're not scared that this team might fall apart. But they have Chris Paul and Paul and Devin Booker, who has never been here, and Monty Williams.
All of them.
There's something about those dudes that are like, you know what, we
Willie
got this.
Green.
Everybody chill. And they came through. And they came through in a way that we have never seen a Suns team come through since '93. That's how it is. And I'm sorry about Steve Nash and all this other stuff. Like, they're the great ones, sure, but they didn't get to this point. And so they will always be a second tier below this team from this point forward.
This is, as of right now, one of the top 3 Suns teams of all time because only 3 Suns teams have ever made the damn finals. And they have the shot to be the best Suns team of all time with guys that will now be heroes in this town for decades to come. How nice is it that third world countries aren't getting our Suns Western Conference champion T-shirts, and instead we get to enjoy them here in Phoenix finally?
Yes.
Huh?
Thank
That's
you.
nice.
So
Yeah.
I just bought a property. It's over off of 35th Avenue and Devin Booker Lane. It's 2 blocks south of Chris Paul Avenue. It's a really nice place because you know what? It might happen with this team. I mean, the way that they're affecting this city, the way that, when you go to Fry's, when you go to Circle K, maybe you're a Safeway guy. I don't know. But wherever you go, you're seeing this fan base alive and engaged. and to fortify that is nothing but beyond exceptional right now. It's seeing little kids who give a shit about this team. And you know what? Espo said earlier, we lost so many kids to the Warriors. That's what happened. When Steph Curry and he was the hottest thing in going in the NBA, they all became Warriors fans. I work at a hotel. I manage a kids club. I manage pools. I'm outside seeing kids walking around Steph Curry jerseys, and I'm always like, dude, where are you from? They're like, Chandler, Gilbert.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? Put on a Suns jersey. Like, no,
Gilbert.
man, they suck. I'm like, come on, man, Devin Booker. And now, it's summer staycation time right now, and
I got
everybody. What's that?
I got 3 kids right now that are staying with me for the summer. My kids, not just random kids.
Wow.
Like, come on in, kids. You want to
At least they know their names.
My kids are here, and they all watch the game from its entirety, from beginning to end with me, which was the first time out of the series that they did. They got here on Saturday, and they saw the win on Saturday. My daughter, who doesn't really watch NBA, she sat there. She's cheering for the Suns. My sons, Kellen and Sean and Ava and Alex, all of them, I got a whole tribe. They are sitting here, and it's like that's what you're talking about. Like you're starting to develop that sense of fandom and building a fan base for generations to come. And they're watching this team. They're getting invested. They want to see them succeed. And now we're on to the NBA Finals, and they're going to see how cool that is.
Are any of those kids in 7th grade?
Story.
They're all in high school now.
Okay, we have Outcast 49 in the chat who donated $50, and he was in 7th grade back in '93. A long way. 4 more wins, baby. Sorry, Dave. Continue.
I was just going to say, I have a similar story. I've got 3 daughters who all grew up with me being a huge Suns fan. Used to be so easy to get them tickets to go to games because, there were open seats. And so I raised them as Suns fans, although it was a bad team. They go just for the joy of going to a game, and we had a great time. And they haven't been able to, they're in their 20s now. They're all professionals and all that, and they haven't been able to do much with the Suns. But this past couple of weeks has been so fun because they don't even have cable anymore, right? That generation, they don't even subscribe to cable. So they haven't watched a Suns game in years. Now their games are on ESPN. Of course, they have the package, with the Disney Plus and all that. I got them ESPN Plus. They're watching the games. Had them over last week for watching game 2 together. Oh my God, the Valley Oop. We're going to be talking about that forever. This has just been so fun. My dad was there. My dad had sworn off the Suns since the 90s because my dad swore off the Suns. He said he used to be a diehard. Like if you think I'm a diehard, the old stuff on my wall is from my dad. This pennant from my dad. You can't see it, but I got a Barkley shooting over Michael Jordan poster from my dad. I got so many things in my closet from. He was a diehard, and the tickets got too expensive. His season ticket friends kind of all aged out and all that, and so he hasn't watched the Suns. Literally, he skipped the entire Steve Nash decade, and he's now back because they're on ESPN. Finally, he's able to watch it because he hasn't been able to watch games in so long. He was texting me all night. My kids are texting me all night. My sister's texting me all night. It's incredible. This has been such a joy. Such a joy.
You know who I feel for? And for those listening on the podcast, I'm holding up an Al McCoy bobblehead. This was actually given to me the day I started at the Suns. And and look, no, it was already broken. So I didn't just do that then, but I feel for Al, right? Dude started in 72, called the Cinderella Suns, called the Purple Gang from Phoenix, gets to call this team in a finals. He's never seen a champion, but if they win, what a magical run that could be, a capstone for him as well. I mean, he's almost 90 to get another shot at this. I feel for Al McCoy as well.
Look, when Al lost his wife, was it 2 or 3 years ago, or was it longer?
I think it was 2015, actually.
Okay, so it was a few years ago. He had an opportunity to quietly retire and move on, although there's good reasons to stay in the game, right? Even as you pass your prime because of that. But I am so glad he stayed in it. I'm so glad Al McCoy did not allow himself to fade off. And look, I always wanted John Bloom to be able to get the radio calls after Al McCoy retired. John will. He will eventually. But I'm so glad Al is still calling these games. I'm so happy for him. And yes, He gets to call a finals. Al called the other finals. I mean, did he even
Yeah.
call the 76? He called
Yeah, he
76.
did.
didn't
Yeah, he did.
He called 93.
The good-
and now
the
he
Gar
gets to
Hurd
call
shot.
2021. Al, that's a magical beginning to capping of an entire career. And now I hope he stays forever. I mean, obviously, I at some point it's got to end. But man, I'm so happy for Al too. I love it. And Espo, you know him so much better than me. But I see him every game, talk to him occasionally, and couldn't happen to a nicer guy.
Nope. Yeah, it's I feel for him. A lot of good people over there getting to enjoy something they weren't sure they'd ever.
Julie Five finally gets
shot
to
at.
protect some players that deserve to be protected. That's good.
For real.
Yeah.
So
That's
Matthew,
that's a big flex right there, Dave.
Yeah,
Matthew,
true,
you're,
man.
you're the
Stop
youngest.
protecting
What's up?
You're the
Go ahead.
youngest one here.
No, I like listening to that.
And you talked to Matthew's
No, I
just
do.
watching the pod. You're the youngest one here. You're the 89 baby. How's it feel? Because your true memories of this team are 7 seconds or less. You've never truly experienced the NBA Finals the way that a lot of us other
No.
guys have. So
I don't remember it. I don't remember.
yeah.
it.
So this is your first experience. Like, how are you feeling? What are you navigating? Are you still watching ESPN? Are they still saying how
No.
is Mike Breen and Mark Jackson just crying because the Clippers lost because they really wanted them to win?
No, they're still
Yeah.
talking about Pat
No.
Beverly. So.
They're actually on hockey highlights right now, so I can actually focus on the pod. I honestly,
I
you guys
appreciate
are
that,
so
Matthew.
right.
Thank you.
It's yep. It's okay. This is what it's all about, right? Bringing everybody together, family. You guys are talking about family. It really does. Like a lot of people hate sports, and it's like, why do you hate sports? Oh, they're overpaid, whatever. But if you really look at it, like my nephew Hayden in Kentucky, I call him, text him once in a while, but because the Suns are in the playoffs and stuff, it gives us a reason, really something to talk about. And I'm not saying like I'm trying I'm not trying to say I'm a bad uncle, but I'm just saying like it gives me and my dad
it's
something to
hard.
talk about. But it starts conversation again. It brings everyone
Yeah.
together, and this is really what it's about. And I love hearing about Al McCoy. And there's these people that that are on the ride with you, you know. And you guys know more about the 93 finals, of course. When I was little, I just barely remember seeing Charles Barkley on a TV, like on the old boob tube. And I think I was 6 years old. So I don't remember that. But right now it feels weird. And they won, you know, they get to enjoy it. I'm not on the team, so I don't have that feeling. But the feeling of just everyone in my family coming together and stuff, watching it, especially with you, John. Like this is why I love it so much.
I'm sorry, but I'm gonna kind of come back at you there, Matt, because when everybody says, well, you're not on the team, but you know what? I've been more invested in the team my entire life than these players have. And I know that they perform for the team and they do everything they can, but that doesn't discredit the amount of, heartache I feel after a loss. That doesn't discredit the amount of money that maybe you've paid for tickets. That doesn't discredit how much support you have put behind this team for 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years or 50 years. And so I feel like as fans, we are every bit as part of this team as the players are. We don't shoot the ball. Yes, I understand. But you can't say that we didn't have an impact in the playoffs, especially the way the crowd was in this particular playoff series, and all the support that this franchise has gotten in the past is because of the fans. And so, yes, it's us, it's the Valley, and that's what it is.
You're 100% right. That we are the Valley. That we is the team. It's the fans. It's everyone that works over there and puts in 18-hour days and busts their ass for it. It's every single one of these people. All of us make up that, and I'm so glad that the Suns fans have gotten their due this playoff run. National media recognizing them, players recognizing how loud they are. Game 1 at Phoenix Suns Arena in the NBA Finals, I don't care who the opponent is, that place is going to be unlike anything we've ever experienced. Unlike anything. It's going to be insane, and that's because how great this fan base has been.
Yeah, and I didn't say like I'm not against that. Even when we traded Ricky Rubio, that was the first one to say this. I'm a fan of the team. I don't, whatever players we can get to win as a team, that's what I'm for. I'm not individually with these guys or anything like that. I know we're part of it. I'm just talking about the family part, trying to make a little bit emotional, a little bit, because I thought that's what you guys were doing. So
he's trying to catch up emotionally. Real quick, I got some things I want to put out here. One, do you know what the most annoying response is after your team loses from anybody in your life?
Shoving Chris Paul in the back.
Well played. Well played.
Nice.
Well, why do you care about them? They don't care about you. Oh, I think we've all heard that in our life. Two, I'm going to give. So we have John Lewis in the chat who threw down $5. Thank you, John Lewis. He says, "Go
John Lewis
from Transylvania," and he says, "Saul, were you a drill at Fort Jackson? I think you were my drill. Were you? I know you were a drill, but I think you're on the Air Force side, right?
In the Air Force, we were calling military training instructors, and I was at Lackland Air Force Base in Texas. So
there
sorry.
you go, Fort Relaxin' Jackson. I'm the Army guy on the podcast. I was never a drill sergeant, so I never made my way there. Let's see. I got a couple other shout outs I want to get to. Jay Nunya, thank you, Jay Nunya, one of our elite jamsters, $50. He says, "I'm legit crying right now." He was 10 in '93 when Paxson scored the game-winning shot against the Suns. He's never been so happy. Thank you, Jay. I know you've been tuning in and to every show after all season long. Does anyone know where John Paxson went to college?
Ooh.
Random
Canyon,
questions.
Right?
Thanks.
Grand Canyon University.
No, John Paxson, didn't he go to Notre Dame?
Does anybody
Yeah.
care
Oh,
where
Jesus.
John
Really?
Paxson
Thanks-
went to
It's a
thanks for
summer
bringing up
podcast.
John
Random-
Paxson on this podcast.
Random.
Thanks a lot.
Random knowledge by
Since,
Tom.
since we're just bringing up schools, I never want to hear about DeAndre Ayton losing to Buffalo again. How about that?
There you go. You
That
never
never
have.
happened. Who cares about college basketball?
It's one of those weird things I have. It's
Maybe
one of
it
those
was the
talents where
coach's
you
fault.
name somebody, I can tell you where he went to college. It's just
Hey.
one of those things. I was raised that way.
Well, not
Hey, I
John
got-
Paxson.
Gentlemen,
I know where he went.
Gentlemen, I got some breaking news.
Go for it.
DraftKings free to play pools are keeping it cool all summer long. Choose from a wide variety of free contests to enter the pool and answer a handful of questions. Make picks for free and grab your share of $10,000. We've almost earned that much on this podcast. So you can earn $10,000 in weekly prizes. Dive into the DraftKings party pool today. Entering one of DraftKings free-to-play pools is simple. Just download the DraftKings app and head to their pools pages. Select from one of DraftKings' many contests, ranging from evening sporting events to wacky weather Wednesdays. Oh my gosh! Wacky weather Wednesdays.
Today's Wednesday.
It is, and there was wacky weather. It was raining.
rained.
Western Conference champion trophies. Then make your picks and watch the action unfold. Entries with the most correct answers will be deemed the winners, which I'm pretty sure that's how winners are always selected. Now that you know how to play, download the DraftKings app and sign up using code DRYHEAT. That's code DRYHEAT. All players will have a free shot at grabbing $10,000 in weekly prizes without spending a dime. Not one dime. Not even a penny.
One.
Do you have to spend? Let's go dry heat to feel the sweat or step outside when it's 115. Only at DraftKings. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details.
He did say ability last time.
Ability.
Yeah.
What happens when you chug a beer and then you have
Let me
to
try
read?
the read next time. See how good I do.
I know, right? No, man, you guys don't even know the one time we tried to record a commercial.
45 minutes later.
It took me about 17
God.
tries.
I think I still have the outtakes from that.
Yeah, you need to run. You need to run those.
I got
I'm
you.
so proud of you, Espo, for not stumbling through all that crap, even though you are looking down when you're looking at it. We were trying to memorize.
Usually I hold it up, but I chugged a big blue van. So
Good job, man. Really
shout out to Espo for ditching those purple glasses because those are bad luck.
Yes,
Look,
yes.
I'm a superstitious SOB, and when they lost, those things went away. The daughter said, "You should wear purple today," and I said, "You shut your mouth. I'll wear orange. Thank you very much."
So real quick, a shout out to Minot, North Dakota. Parker Hines, $5 in the super chat. We appreciate that.
Why not?
That's Minot.
Minot. I'm sorry.
Not?
I'm from
Minot.
Phoenix, Arizona.
He said
Minot.
mine.
I went French.
Minot.
The
Right
French
next
were-
to my yes.
The French settled Canada. It's close to Canada. You know what? I got
Watch 2021.
And so nostalgic. We haven't talked much about this game, but I do want to talk about DeAndre Ayton, the man from the University of Arizona. 16 points, 17 rebounds, 8 for 10 shooting. He continues his historic marched through the NBA playoffs relative to field goal percentage, and he was the key tonight. Saul, he was the key for us having this graphic right here.
Yeah,
buddy.
The
Hey,
NBA
hey,
Finals
woo-hoo.
graphic.
The reason
Shout
we
out.
didn't win Game
The
5.
reason we didn't win
Yeah.
Game 5.
I sent this to
Saul said
everybody
that in
before
the
Game
chat.
5. They said they would hunt me down if we didn't win the series. Thank God we won.
Is that your scrapbooking? That looked
I
good,
will.
dude.
I will
Like
say this.
scrapbooking?
I will say this. The way the I'm sorry, I can't even think. So U of A, right? In against Buffalo, Sean Miller could not get the ball to DA. That's how I felt in Game 5. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I don't understand it. But you saw several times tonight, even Devin Booker step to the side and tell DA to post up and then try to give him the ball. They made a concerted effort to get him the ball tonight. It opened things up for everybody on the exterior, and I just don't understand why we can't do that more. But hey, I digress. It worked tonight. They came out with a sense of urgency. DA played much better on the offensive side, and he knew that he needed to attack. And when his teammates reinforced that idea over and over again, when it seemed like he was kind of drifting off, he responded, and I appreciate that. So well done.
That whole first quarter, that whole first 4 minutes, Cam Johnson with that, Mikal Bridges with that first bucket on the cut to the hoop, something we hadn't seen in the last few games from him. Devin hitting a midi, DeAndre getting buckets. Like, they came out and made it very clear that they would not play the way that the Clippers were trying to force them to play, that they were going to force the issue throughout this game. And offensively, they did it beautifully. DeAndre Ayton was fantastic. The dude gets bludgeoned over the head, poked in the eye. It did not matter. He was in there battling the entire time. And this kid has come through in every way that you could have asked for him to in the playoffs. I mean,
Let's
that's just
that. He's a kid. He's still 22.
Yeah.
I remember there was a story somebody wrote before the playoffs started that almost no team in history has been able to rely on a 22-year-old center as a primary player, as a big time player. Bam Adebayo broke the mold last year when he was able to be, relied on a finals run. And the writer of this article said that's only happened a couple other times in history that a 22-year-old center has been this good. And Aiden's been awesome. Did you guys see? And I can't remember if we talked about this already. Aiden has had the most efficient in terms of true shooting percentage. You guys talked about it on your green room thing, I think. The most efficient in terms of shooting percentage playoff run in league history.
I read a stat today going into today's game. Couldn't he have missed his next 21 shots and still been the most efficient player in playoff history? That's insanity. How well he's done at the rim and everything he's done. He even had the hook shot going tonight again. It's a thing of beauty. This guy has done everything that has been asked of him. And this is a guy that some people were suggesting you should trade for some combination of Marvin Bagley and Rashawn Holmes in January. So
who was doing that?
There were people doing that.
Hey,
So
There's Ozzy Phoenix, really quick, Ozzy Phoenix Suns fans podcast, $10. Thank you. I just didn't want to miss that one.
I just want to say for all those people who are bagging on DA, this feels pretty sweet to myself personally because I've been on the DA train since mother effing day one.
And John.
And every single time I had to hear some stupid, foolish crap about trade him for Cat or trade him for some other worthless freaking backup center from New Jersey or Milwaukee or whatever city you want to play.
Yeah,
I don't care. DA showed up in these playoffs, and if we didn't have him, we wouldn't be where we are right effing now.
It's probably not as bad as those conversations, though, with him and Monty, right? I mean, Monty talked about how they would go at it a little bit. So I'm just saying he's probably heard it from everybody. So for him to actually thank everybody, right? I mean, for him to actually maintain just a presence on the court, not getting hurt, not sitting out games, not, he hasn't showed up a few times, but he's shown up for the most part in really, really like very difficult opponents that he's going to go up against. But tonight, honestly, defensively, I think he changed the game around in the second quarter. He played those guys on the 3-point line very, very well. There was no one could get in these guys' faces. He was the only one that could do that. Of course, he's 7 feet tall, but I think he changed the defense around in the second quarter after Chris Paul got into him a little bit in the first quarter. But he handled those guys on the perimeter. It was nice to see.
You're dead right. And they mentioned on the broadcast that Monty Williams was yelling at DA like, close out on Reggie Jackson, close out on Nicholas Batum.
You can't let those
once
guys
he started closing out, they were hitting the side of the backboard, man.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we talk about Reggie Jackson. What was his final stat line tonight? Because he's the guy's been killing us. I feel like he didn't do anything. 13 points on 4 of 12 shooting. Boom. And he was taking
Paul George. Paul
George. The adjustment on Paul George was the one that I mentioned in my preview. It was Torrey Craig needed to be the adjustment. He had shot 2 for 8 against him on. I mentioned it last night on the green room. I forget how many. It was like 18 possessions or something. And I know that's a small sample size relative to the entire series, but still, it was better than anybody else. He was cooking everybody else. Mikal Bridges, love you to death. I know everybody loves Mikal, but he didn't have the greatest series, and that's okay because it's the same thing with like Sarge in the first series. Sarge didn't have a good series against the Lakers, but you know what? He played some valuable minutes against the Nuggets. The depth of this team is going to showcase itself against different opponents, and Mikal Bridges against Paul George just isn't a good matchup, but you know what was? Torrey Craig. And even though Jay Crowder, and shout out to Jay for coming in like 117-degree heat wave here in Phoenix and being in Fuego, when he got into foul trouble on ticky-tack bullshit fouls, there was 2 of them were okay, 2 of them weren't. But I digress. But Torrey Craig had the opportunity to come in and make an impact on this game by guarding Paul George. You know, Paul George, what did he end with? He had a total of 21 points on 6 for 15 shooting and 1 for 6 from 3. And another thing that I put in my piece today is force Paul George to the right, or I'm sorry, to the left, because he's a killer from the right shoulder. But if it's the mid-range to the 3-point, he's shooting like 48% in this series. But if you force him to the right, he's shooting like 26%. And the Suns did push him a little bit more to the right in this game. So thank you for reading.
Hey, actual breaking news, not being sarcastic. I don't have some secret ad read. This isn't a Manscaped joke or anything. Chris Paul revealed just a second ago during his post-game availability that he has partially torn ligaments in his right hand that he found out about a few games ago.
It's when he jammed his hand on that one play in game 3.
Yeah. So he dropped 41
jammed his hand
points.
or someone jammed his hand?
Someone jammed his hand.
Yeah,
He was being swiped at.
41 with a bad hand.
Jeez.
Torn ligaments.
That might
Why isn't he
explain.
wearing a
I was
cast like
worried he was
LeBron
feeling
would?
COVID or something like that. But yeah, that might explain the 31% shooting.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
But it also shows what a Superman he is going through it tonight and getting 31 points on 12 of 16 shooting in the second half alone. 41 for the game. Incredible.
Unbelievable, his performance and what he's done to mold this team. You know, to your point, Matthew, DA getting yelled at. He got yelled at a lot early in the season by Chris Paul. DeAndre Ayton did. And he's willing to take that criticism. He's willing to take that guidance. And kudos to him. You know, we've mentioned it, a lot of people have. He's not your prototypical number 1 pick. The guy who desires to be the centerpiece of everything that goes on. He's like, I will fall into my role and I will do what needs to be done to help this team. And what needed to be done to help this team over the past 2 seasons was to play defense. And he accepted that role. I mean, we are less than a year away from the bubble, where this time last year we were excited because we finally got news that we were going to have the ability to play in that Orlando bubble. And while everyone was questioning it, we were just happy to have 8 more games of basketball. And that's where we saw DA really start to make a change and this team take a change. And then for him to really accept his defensive shot deterring role and to, you know, get us to where we are at this point. People know it. I'm a huge DeAndre Ayton fan.
Guys, we are 2 years away from a 19-win season.
Dude, not only
where
that.
we were do we keep Chris Paul? Do we keep Dragan Bender? Like, who are we going to go on? Is DeAndre Ayton? Actually, we already had gotten rid of Marquise Chris. But I'm sorry, Chris Paul. I meant Marquise Chris.
I was like,
I've had a little bit. No, yeah. Do we keep Marquise Chris? We already traded Marquise Chris for Ryan Anderson. So that was a big trade. No, it wasn't.
Dude, we had
it wasn't
2
for Ryan
years.
Anderson. It Who was it for?
No, yeah, we
God,
sent him to Houston, right?
That's
for Ryan Anderson. It was
That's
Marquise Chris and God, Matthew. I remember when we saw the trade and we're like,
Was
what
it Knight?
was that?
Knight? Was
Yeah,
Knight?
Brandon Knight.
Yeah,
It was Brandon
yeah,
Knight.
Brandon
Brandon
Knight.
Knight made the contract work because Brian
Yeah.
Anderson was making like 24 million a year.
Yeah.
And then Ryan Anderson was traded away for Tyler Johnson
To Miami. Yeah.
And,
Yep.
Oh man, and that's what we were dealing with. And somebody mentioned earlier in the chat. Remember when you guys had to like come up with segments to fill time and like
Oh my
We
God.
did a whole
Yeah.
trial on Ryan McDonough.
Yeah.
3
Also-
episodes.
Yeah,
Three
dude.
full
And
episodes.
Even dressed up.
Those were
too.
great.
Now-
yeah, you guys wore
now-
tuxedos and all kinds of stuff.
Not only that, but can I just go back to your Aiden point real quick? I did want to say this. The younger generation gets kind of crapped on for bailing out early or having this stigma about not wanting to work as hard as everybody else. But DA taking that verbal counseling, I will say, and I know it wasn't just like, hey, you should probably do this. And him being 22 years old, responding to it as effective as he did and improving and building upon it, I think just speaks so much to him as a team player and why he ultimately was the best decision for this franchise instead of Luka Doncic or Trae Young. That's what I think about DA. And then going back to what these guys are talking about, yeah. I mean, even when I honestly, I can't even say it because since I joined the pod, everything's been gold, baby. Like, like when I first joined the pod, CP3 got traded. Like right when I joined the pod,
You did.
And it's
That's how
You're just like riding the good
that's how
time.
Matthew and I
With him.
feel since we
It's like
joined
a
the bright
Midas
side of
touch.
the sun.
it's
throughout
like a
his
gift.
pod. He's going
It's
to
like I
join
can't
us during
control
one
it.
of the finals games. Yeah, he's going to join
Just
us.
wait
during
until
the
we
game.
win the title. I quit doing Sun's podcast and I go do a
Yep,
cooking
Yep,
show.
that's it, man. I'm leaving.
Good luck.
Stop. I'm like,
Good luck, everybody. Now,
I
look,
know.
look, this has been. Let's not get happy on the farm. I'm just going to say it. There's
Fabio.
4 more freaking wins. Let's go get those.
Yes, let's go get those.
Let's win the ultimate. Let's see what this is like after 4 more wins. This is fun tonight. That next level is going to be insane. Right?
Fabio in the chat said Tim is our Ricky Rubio. That means I'm CP3. I'll take it. Thanks.
You're
Fabio.
Abdel Nader, buddy.
Yeah. Nice try, Espo. Nice try.
I just want to give a quick shout out to my mom. She's watching the
My
podcast. Yeah, she's
Hey,
watching
Mom?
the podcast. A bottle
John's
of
mom.
champagne deep. She was texting me before the game, and one of my favorite things that she texted me, she said, "Not sure if you're watching the pre-show, but I'm wondering what these turds are going to talk about when we win. All you hear is them praising the Clippers and their coach." She's like, "I should watch the game and listen to Al McCoy because these announcers are making me want to punch them." I love you, Mom. Thank you for making me a Suns fan.
Look,
We
my
now
mom's a
understand
great
so much
sports
more
fan,
of you.
but she doesn't even know what a podcast is. So I'm really proud that your mom is watching right now. Good job, Mom Boyda.
Yes, she's a saint. I love you, Mom.
Where's my mom's not even watching. That's disappointing. I'll talk to her
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah,
She
you let her
couldn't
know.
watch. She couldn't watch because you guys rag on her all the time.
Yeah, somebody's
We
like,
love
Lissy's
Mrs.
mom?
Lissy.
Dude,
Yeah, she's
what
a
are you
saint.
talking about, Matt? You're the one that always brings up. Oh, no, you bring up your sister. Never mind.
Hey,
You bring
my
up
bad.
your own family members.
Yeah.
yeah. My mom
You're like,
texted
have
me,
you
love you,
seen how
love
hot
you
my
too.
mom is? I'm like, what?
We love your mom and sister. Just don't tell John
right.
about the last
All
part,
right.
all right?
Well, that's a strong word.
John's like,
Stat me.
Just give me a
Oh,
stat,
God.
Dave, randomly. I just
Give you
I
a
wanted to
stat?
cut that
They're going to the
segment
Okay,
as soon
you
as I could.
mentioned it a little bit earlier. I'll give you a stat. The Suns are the worst recent team in history to make a finals. The Suns that have had the 28th or 27th winning percentage in the NBA for the years prior to this finals run among all other NBA teams to reach the finals. No team has been recently worse than the Suns that ever made an NBA finals.
The year
There's your
before.
stat. No, years, like several years. Several years before.
Cumulatively.
You take it like a 3-year span or a 4-year span. No team has been as bad as the Suns to make a finals.
Go Suns,
good
baby.
on the Suns.
Look, yeah, no team has ever gone 10 years without missing the playoffs, then make the playoffs and make the finals in the same year. So
Yeah.
that's insane. Also, another stat, since we're throwing out stats, somebody just tweeted at me the total free throws for the series were
Oh,
yeah.
144 to 92.
Jesus.
And the Suns still 1-6.
Jeez, that just shows you how good this team is, though. They can overcome all of that and maintain. We've heard the word numerous times from Monty Williams, poise. They can maintain poise and push through that. And we've seen it in the past where the Raja Bells and the Quentin Richardsons and all those teams of the past who they would allow those calls to get under their skin enough to where it would take them out of their game. And this team just stayed focused, man. And it's, you're all right. 4 more wins. And this is an enjoyable night. It's a fun podcast. And this is why we do what we do, to feel these feelings. But at the same time, we know we're not there yet. But still, to get to this pinnacle, to be in the finals for the first time in 28 years, for only the 3rd time in franchise history, there's a stat that everybody knows, but still, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable to feel this feeling.
Hey, I just saw it rolling across my timeline, so you guys have all seen it too, I'm sure. But Devin Booker in his post-game interviews, he said, "You know what? He's one of us, guys. Devin Booker is one of us. He's been down here with us
yes.
this whole time, and he has proven himself through this run that he was not the looter in a riot that everyone said he was." And he just all he does is he's such a class act. All he says in his post-game is stuff like this. I put my head down and I work. I've been through a lot of bullshit. And then Phoenix is my city. Damn right, Book. They brought the super team to you.
Devin Booker.
You brought the super team to Phoenix because Chris Paul said he came here for Devin Booker.
Crawl
Monty
through
Williams said he came here for Devin Booker.
Crawl through 500 yards of crap just to come out clean on the other side.
He was so chill tonight too.
I just miss my friend.
Andy Dufresne.
Booker is chill all the time, unless he gets bonked in the nose. Oh my God, I thought he re-broke the nose. So
Oh, he
bad.
did.
Looked like it was
That's why he
broken.
put the
It
mask.
did, man.
That's why he
It was
put the
over
mask
like
back
he was
here.
mashed
He put the bats back
into
on
his
after Beverly
skull.
pushed Chris Paul. I'm sure he
Yeah.
knew it was going
Oh.
to get a little testy out there and didn't want
Yeah.
anything to happen.
Yeah.
I guarantee that nose was broken again. It was, or I mean, it never really healed. Let's be honest. They popped
No.
it back in
Broken in
place,
3
but
places.
yeah, like Paul George just readjusted it back to the way it was when it was broken. They'll have to pop that bad boy back in. I'm sure, but man, hey, I really hope Tom Thibodeau and Nikola Jokic are enjoying their trophies because Monty Williams and CP3 are hopefully going to be hoisting a different trophy that they deserve just as much as those other ones.
I love mugshot gaming. Can we give Paul George some flowers? It seemed really important to Boogie. Good almost elimination game from Paul George. Give him credit.
Almost.
You know what I gotta say about guys like Boogie and Pat Bev? Like they're just bullies. They're just bullies. That's all they are. They're just bullies, and they just try to get their way all the time. And when things don't go their way and they lose control, that's how they respond. That's why Boogie was going at Chris Paul. Like, dude, take your L. Take your L. Because you know if the shoe was on the other foot, you'd be expecting them to take the L. You need to take the L. And DeMarcus Cousins, shut up, man. You haven't even been relevant for like 3 years. Just go on
Longer than that, man. I mean, he's been relevant since he was in Kentucky. Go ahead, Matthew.
Beverly, he should be suspended some games next year, right? After what he did to CP3, that was pretty vicious. That push, it might have ended up.
Patrick Beverly
he has to be suspended like 10 plus games or something.
I was actually like, you know what, Pat Bev's that guy that like if he's on your team, you love him. If he's not on your team, you absolutely hate him. Until
not now.
And then when that happened, I was like, dude, you're just complete lack of class.
The refs made that happen because they let him get away with the tomahawk.
Yeah,
in that first half, they let him get away with
Nikolai
that.
Jokic.
He knew what he was
got kicked out of a game, an elimination game. The MVP of the league got kicked out of an elimination game for less, in my opinion.
Yeah,
I mean that was a clear wind up, and Jokic got the ball too, but he hit the face too.
Pat Bev was jumping in the air to tomahawk him before DeAndre even jumped up.
He was going to do it regardless.
And he made sure to keep his eye on the ball. Dave. So on the replay, he's just looking at the ball. He knows what he's doing, dude.
That's a great point, Dave. That when you allow that behavior to occur, it's going to continue to amplify, and that's what we saw in the series. And again, I know that Saul and Matthew Saul Lissy over here don't think that there was a lot of bad
What?
calls. Yeah, instead of
Lissy?
Matthew Paul Lissy, you're
What
Saul
happened to you,
Lissy. 'Cause
Saul?
I don't
Saul
know where
what?
Saul
Saul, you
is.
there?
Saul tomahawked
Fall
himself.
into the ocean?
I'll
What
remove
happened?
him for now
Saul-
until he comes.
So
until he
had
comes
one
back.
too many, and he just fell off the desk.
Pat Bev heard him and he came in. He's pushing him. So
Look,
but-
they can bully all they want. In the end, the Suns punched him in the face, metaphorically. They got the win.
Yeah.
They got
That's
they
what
had
makes this
everything.
team the best one we've had
Yes.
since
Heck
'93.
yes.
Yep.
No disrespect to the Steve Nash Suns, but this team is better than that team.
oh yeah.
I
Without
am
a
on the
doubt.
verge. I've been saying this is the most complete Suns team ever. I'm on the verge, even if no matter what happens in the finals, that they may be the best Suns team ever because they have that edge.
But the
They
'93
have
team had to go
defense.
against the full speed Michael Jordan Bulls. This team,
Yeah,
didn't
they
have to,
lost.
so we won't know.
So
I know,
what,
but we won't know.
what makes it the best team is it's just the start of it, right? This is the first season with
Well,
these young
but
guys.
you don't
like
know,
that's
though.
just what makes it so good, though.
You don't know,
Well,
though. That's why these next 4 wins are so important because you have no
You never
clue
know.
what could happen. I mean, the last 18 months have taught us all that nothing's guaranteed. Not one damn thing in this world is guaranteed. So you got to go take care of it when you've got the chance to. And I think it's a lesson we all can learn. And hopefully that the Suns, who they looked like they know that tonight by taking care of business, but hopefully they take care of it in 4 more wins in the finals.
Well, I'll ask you guys this question, and we know that Chris Paul went for 41 tonight. So let me ask you it this way.
Jam star of the game.
Series. Jam star of the series.
Series.
Who do you give it to? Dave.
Eaton.
Oh, I've got to give it to DeAndre Ayton. I mentioned it on my Chris Paul and Devin Booker need to step up article on Brightside. The jam star of the series is DeAndre Ayton. This is 5 out of 6 games. Ayton was consistently dominant. Sure, Chris Paul closed it out. Absolutely. He was a monster in game 6, but he was not in any prior game. Campaign had a great game. Devin Booker had a great game, but nobody was as good and consistent as DeAndre Ayton, and he made a huge difference in every one of these games. They had to play Boogie Cousins in this game tonight to try to counteract DeAndre Ayton. That's how bad it got for them. So no, that's my guy.
All right, Matthew, who's your jam star of the series?
It's Ayton for sure. I mean, last game was the only game he was kind of a dud, but even the start of the first quarter, that's what the Suns needed, right? To get back into the series, take over the series, and win the series was that first quarter, that first half. I don't care what he didn't do in the second quarter points wise, but he came out and Chris Paul let it into him a little bit, and he responded very, very early. So of the series for sure. Cam Johnson, maybe a close second. I mean, it sucks he was out tonight, but he played so good before he didn't play tonight.
Espo,
Yeah.
you agree?
Mine's Monty. And he,
Ooh,
I was
good
going to give it
draws
to your
up
glasses.
Very good.
Listen,
Very good.
my glasses get it nice. Look, Monty draws up the valley oop. He had these guys prepared for the first 2 games without Chris Paul. When everybody's talking about how brilliant Ty Lue is with his adjustments, he makes the ultimate adjustments going into game 6 and finds a way to put his team in a position to win. Monty Williams has done so much throughout this year, and I think in particular in this series, him as a guiding force that kept these guys calm, made adjustments when necessary. And I think admitting his own faults and noticing I can't play Abdel Nader anymore in this series and going to Torrey Craig in the closeout game.
He did play.
I tip my cap to Monty Williams.
Hey, I want to point out really quick. Sorry, Suns Dog 24 had a really good comment. Devin Booker was the MVP of the first round. Chris Paul was the MVP of the second round, and now DeAndre Ayton the MVP of the third round. That's the mark of a great team.
Yeah.
Does that mean
Unselfish.
Mikal Bridges the MVP of the finals?
No, it's going to be Abdel
Someone's gonna
Nader.
I'm with you though, Espo. Monty had a great series. Jeez, incredible.
Saul, who's your jam star of the series?
Series is DA easily. That's not even close. And I would even say who if you ask me who would be my playoff MVP so far, I would say DA as well, because I think he's been the most consistent from game to game. He hasn't had a big drop off from game to game. He's done everything that's been asked of him, especially defensively. But for this game, obviously, it would be CP3.
Yeah.
DA's just been, man, he's just been awesome.
I mean, think about that though. This whole playoff run, DeAndre Ayton has been a key cog in it. Luka who?
Right.
Oh, look, I did.
What do you mean, oh God? Get the fuck out of here with that.
Kick him off. Kick him off. Send him to the Wolves.
You know, I mean, I have to hear
How many
that
times
shit
are we gonna hear
all
about
the
this,
time.
dude?
One more time. We just one more
Bill
time.
Simmons.
We just won the
He's the only one that
Western
still talks
Conference.
about it.
We just won the Western Conference Finals, and behind the efforts of DeAndre Ayton in the Western Conference Finals.
Look,
I absolutely love it.
He got the Western Conference title first. He'll likely hopefully get an NBA title first. I don't give a crap what Luka does in the rest of his career. If DeAndre Ayton helps bring the Suns team a title, it doesn't freaking matter what Luka does. I've said
Forever.
One. Put the 2018 draft behind us.
Yeah,
Forever.
I've said since day one, 2018 draft will look like that 1984 draft. Nobody complains about Hakeem going 1. Nobody's going to complain about DA going 1 when it's all said and done. It'll be, wow, these two guys had great careers and accomplished great things.
You just didn't want to be the ones to draft Sam Bowie. That's all you
Marvin
wanted.
Bagley.
Marvin Bagley.
Yeah.
Man,
Sorry.
Yeah. Okay, the team, yes, the franchise that's never, ever going to be able to forget the 2018 draft is the Sacramento Kings.
Exactly.
Holy crap, I feel bad for those guys.
But you know what? We did them a solid. We let them have Tyrese Halliburton. Do you know what it was great watching the post-game show where they're handing the trophy and I see Sticks in the background with the hat on.
Hey, you got
I'm
to
like,
no
yeah,
glasses.
baby.
I almost didn't recognize
No
him.
glasses.
He had his goggles
Dude,
on.
there's like two other dudes on that shot where when DA has the trophy, and I'm like, who the hell is that guy with a jersey on? I don't know who that is.
They just snuck a couple guys in extras. They're in LA.
So. Might be Tyshawn, yeah.
On that note, is there anything else you gentlemen would like to share before we get out of here today, or is there any more random breaking news?
We're not going all night.
No.
I'm not.
I got phone calls to make.
Yeah, I got text messages to answer.
Yeah, I would like to say. I was gonna tweet this during the game, but I couldn't get up for my good luck position.
I love it. And you said you weren't superstitious.
Armani mode shirts. Guy, you gotta check them out. Stadaka. If you need to find it, it's at the top of the Solar Panel Twitter page. You can click on the link. Please, it's a pretty dope ass shirt. Check it out.
Shirts.solarpanelpod.com. You can find them there. And I think we might have a few new ones in the next few days. So
we have them pinned to our Twitter profile too.
Yep, it's at the top of our Twitter profile.
Just look at the Sun Solar Panel Twitter. I know. I'm just saying. I'm reading. Look, man. I'm reading the chats. I'm reading the text. This is a great night. Sorry, Saul. I didn't hear you say it.
It's all good.
Hey, look. We got to sell that merch. So
after the money we made, today,
I don't know. Also, you're gonna want to join us on Solar Panel on Saturday.
Okay, I'll be there.
We're gonna have some bomb ass guests. I just know we're gonna come through with them. Here we go.
Yep.
I got to get working.
No pressure.
Bobby Marks confirmed for Saturday. Boom.
We do have Bobby Marks. That's right.
Bobby Marks. That's one of many.
Awesome.
We're bringing a cavalcade of guests.
That's cool. We got Tom Cruise coming on next podcast.
Yeah. We got. He's no idea what's going on, but he wants to plug Top Gun, and it looks kind of interesting. So,
Matt, are you playing Dungeons and Dragons right now? What are you looking at?
Bobby Marks. I was like, who the hell's Bobby Marks? Oh, Bobby Marks. No, I know the name. I just forget what he looked like.
No, Bobby Marks is the only dude from ESPN who actually picked the Suns to win the first round, and he actually picked the Suns to make the finals.
Yep.
Well,
we've had him on a couple of times this year. He's been very pro Suns. It's great.
Well, I'll make a plug as well. You know, the Suns Jam Session. If you stop by our Redbubble page, we got some cool merch. We got the new 2001 or 2021 Western Conference Champions shirt designed by yours truly. It's got everybody on there, but Abdul Nader. So that's okay. I'm okay with that.
Cease and desist special right there.
Yes, no, but no, but nothing's not approved by Redbubble. So as long as you take off the Nike logos, you're good, man. The NBA, the NBA, they're okay with you promoting their product. It's a beautiful thing about the NBA. You post anything NFL, they're like, you get Roger Goodell knocking on your door, like, take it down now. The NBA is like, dude, share the product, man. So stop by our Redbubble page. I got a few designs that I've made to put out there. So yeah, buy the merch or whatever, or don't. I don't care. I'm buying it. My mom already bought one. I love you, Mom.
By the way, the timeline greater than the process. Suck it, Philly.
Suck it, Philly. Boom.
Drop the mic on that one. I think unless anybody else has anything to say, Matthew,
Nope.
Dave,
I'm good, dude.
Saul
I'm
underscore
good.
Bookman
So good.
at Espo. So
Go
ladies
home
and
and
gentlemen,
love your son's merchandise.
on the day where I got the blue check mark on Twitter, we have clinched.
Blue check.
It's white. It's
Wait,
white.
how did that
It's not
happen?
blue.
I have no idea.
Are we just calling you blue check? We're calling you blue check from now
Yeah,
on.
it's white on the phone, but it's a blue check mark.
That'd
Matthew.
be great for the Manscaped section. Blue ball, blue check.
blue ball, blue
Hey,
check. But on a beautiful day, the last day of June, the Phoenix Suns have clinched the Western Conference. They now play in July again for only the second time ever in their franchise history. They are 1-0 in July, having won on the 31st of July last year in the Orlando bubble.
As long as you
So-
don't include the summer league teams. Yes.
Yes, we don't. Those never counted. Those
How
never-
in the mother F did you get a blue check mark?
I-
Jesus, what?
It's actually not that hard.
He looked it up. You were looking it up, weren't you?
I was like, well, damn, how many followers am I behind? What?
yeah,
No.
yeah.
It's easier than it looks.
It
Yeah,
really
that's
is.
what
I
he
just
said.
was
Big
bored
Dick
one day and
Johnny, huh?
applied. So
Yeah.
and they're like, yeah, sure.
You're
But
such
on
a
that
prove you're a
note,
real person, I think.
yeah, I sent them my credit card, and yeah, it's been working out and my social security number, so it's been great.
It's
But the blue
easier to
check
get a
mark's
blue.
amazing.
No, never mind.
No,
Yeah.
okay. But again, this is a reminder to everybody: if you're watching along live, please subscribe, rate, and review. If you're listening on the Bright Side of the Sun podcast network, do the same. Subscribe, rate, review. To all those who joined us live, thank you. Thank you for experiencing this with us. Thank you for those who donated via the super chat. You are the real MVP. And remember, as always, go Suns. And Matthew,
Oh, I'm gonna love your family.
take care,
Ahoy,
everybody.
hoy!
Go Suns.